ROX Tigers now backs against the wall. They lose the momentum. Let's see if they can stabilize here as we go into game number 3. They're on blue side, and they start things off with the Galio ban.
Already an adjustment from game number 1 when it was Xayah, GP, and Azir banned. So we'll wait and see what happens in this draft, as the Swain will not be allowed to be first picked. I wonder if Jin Air will have to ban Swain and Olaf, and that would be potential for ROX to try to shake the kitten, or shake the kitty, I should say, and see what falls out. Shaking kittens is bad.
Don't shake kittens.
But they want to see what big pick they can get at first pick, and usually that's done around the second ban, because then you just can work out how to engineer a very strong first pick. And they will not be allowing the Xayahs. That one does stick around as a ban, and, well, it has got pentakilled by the Xayah, so it makes sense.
I'll take that one away. Don't want to deal with it again with Teddy on that pick.
So we're thinking that Olaf will be the final ban from Jin. Not 100%. Songwon's played 4 games of Olaf. It's only 2-2, as they've been unable to close out a couple of games, so they got far ahead with the Olaf pressure. So ROX Tigers looking to see how they can recreate their game 1 victory. Was a Karma ban in game number 2, you remember, as the Karma Caitlyn strategy worked really well for the side of ROX. And they'll ban away the GP, so the change here is that Azir will not be banned, and it's probably fine, even though it has been one of Grace's better champions.
Final ban here, going to be the Olaf. Jin Air just not willing to risk it, even with Songwon not having the best record with that.
Skarner has been very often picked in scenarios like this. I know you're not a big fan of that Achilleos, but teams are still trying to make it work. Looks like they will be looking to the Skarner at first pick. Sion flex pick is what some other teams would choose in this scenario, but understand that Skarner as a takeaway from Umti is also something that you're happy to do, so I imagine Umti will be on Sejuani duty this time around.
Well, wasn't made a believer in the last game. One more attempt, I suppose, here for Songwon. He's putting in all the marbles with this Skarner pick to see if they can pull it off, but this just begs the question for me is, do Jin Air just try to take away the Thresh yet again?
Well, definitely the Sejuani, but they can have a bit more time to consider what to go with it. The Griffin special didn't work for Jin Air in game number 1, as the Skarner and Thresh synergy wasn't fantastic, and the Flex Sion is still something very useful to group around, as Sion is, in many ways, the AD Galio when it comes to mid lane, so outside chance that Grace goes to Comfort and goes for a wave clear mid laner to build around Teddy on a hyper carry. That seems like a strategy I've seen somewhere before. So already 2 people you're not very interested in impaling.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Sangyun wants to play. Can have his pick of the 80 carries right now.
Yeah, just the Xayah and the Varus banned away, so could go for something like the Caitlyn, the Jin, which has lost its 100% win rate.
Karma Caitlyn is very, very possible in this game. See if they actually do rotate that now. If they don't take 80 carry in first round, the Jinx is going to be banned. So
yeah,
you'd imagine Caitlyn will be taken here for safety. See what they want to do. And they'll roll back a lot of what worked in game number 1, but there's no ambiguity to the side of Jin Air of what ROX Tigers are setting up for. And you can see that a Tom Kenshin Braum ban or takeaway is very likely to stop the full peel for Caitlyn comp coming together.
Yeah, the outside chance that it could be the support for the Karma if they wanted to swap that around, but more than likely going to be for Lava there in the mid lane after game 1's antics.
Be very similar to what we saw, as this would be a very early hyper. They're going for the Jinx first round. First time we've seen Teddy jump on this hyper carry. Well, that's probably going to be a Sion mid lane.
Okay, well this is a bit intriguing. So yeah, probably going to be the Sion around mid. Very easily rotate down to the bottom side with the ult if need be, but I wasn't expecting this.
The first round Jinx for the first time perhaps ever in the LCK.
They could have waited on this, and I don't think that ROX would have banned it away because it's just not really a Teddy champion.
You would definitely ban hyper carries. It's an interesting one on whether they would ban Jinx. I agree with you. I would say probably not, but definitely fits with the 2 champions they have. Kog'Maw would be what a Kingzone, for example, would have picked in the same scenario.
Yeah.
Give you
I would think maybe Cog Trist, something like that.
Ultra late game, Jin Air should win basically every fight, regardless of the champions that are banned in this second round. So ROX Tigers definitely do have a timing window they're going to try to exploit before The Impale becomes largely useless because getting to the Jinx is going to be very tricky.
Well, they ban away the Thresh, so not going to be seeing the synergy there for Key alongside the Skarner, but also not going to be seeing the hook into the traps that come through for the bot lane of Jin Air.
Maybe you ban Braum and then take Karma into Tahm Kench to try to target the laning phase. That's something you could do, is try to play through Jinx's relatively weak laning phase. She's actually fine. She's actually fine against Caitlyn. Not fantastic, but fine. I do like the Braum takeaway here, though. I would have liked to see a Braum ban, just because it would take away one of the options to lane into the Caitlyn and Karma. But Karma mid lane is still more likely than not, given that it was played in game number 1.
Taking their time. Seems like they're just discussing maybe for the next pick and what they expect ROX will be doing here with these final two. But Braum will get locked in.
Anivia would be very powerful against the tanks that have already been put together. Wonder if Lava's confident in playing it. I would like to see the Anivia here. Otherwise, it feels like they've really played into the hand that Jin Air has dealt them by going for the first round Jinx.
So far, going to be flashing an Ornn here.
Into the Braum, so hoping to find a different way to...
Or for the top lane.
True, but still into the Braum in terms of the answer of
Yes.
the Unbreakable to the call the Forge God.
So already not a good look. So yeah, seems like maybe top lane while they look for an Alistar.
This would be a 1 damage comp. It'd be just Caitlyn if they go for the Alistar, as Karma will fall off. The Unbreakable, basically, entire engage is down. ROX Tigers in a best of 1 for their playoff hopes. And look at this.
Okay.
They're going to go for the Lulu. Outside chance of a Lulu mid.
Yeah.
Probably going to be the Karma mid, but Lulu mid played by Doinby in the LPL. We're just going Jugger on both sides. We've got a Jugger Caitlyn going on.
It's going to be Lulu top with an Ornn support. But, okay, Talia, maybe just the straightforward one here for Jin Air. Putting that Scion up into the top lane.
Wait for the final second to get the full information, and okay, here we go. Now, without Scion mid lane, it cannot itemize easily into the banner of command and just try to trivialize a mid laner in roam, so the roam potential of Scion goes down. They still have a very sturdy front line for the Jinx to pop off in. Will most likely be the Karma mid, but outside chance, wait for 20 seconds to see if it's the Lulu mid. Karma's very good at following Talia. The tether gets a lot of value into the Talia in mid lane and can keep her accountable for the majority of the laning phase. So definitely going to be more reliable damage on the side of Jin Air as the game goes on. But if they can get 3 items onto Caitlyn and start rolling around with the shields, you can still try to replicate the game plan that won in game 1. But Jin Air was wary to it. They've got their own hyper carry. Remember, the big problem for Jin Air in game 1 was they had a Jin and not something like a Jinx.
Yeah.
This time they've gone for the hyper carry in the first round, and there's no guarantees that ROX Tigers will be able to stick the landing with a very similar comp to game number 1.
Likely going to need a very early lead here, the ROX Tigers. Something like we saw from them in game 1 with that Swain, with that J4 ganking the top side, constantly attacking Umpty and so on. If they want to close this one out, because they're going to have to do it quickly. Like you said, Caitlyn, pretty much the sole damage for them as they go into the later side of the game versus a Jinx and a Talia.
And ROX Tigers picked some bad fights in game number 2. You picked the wrong fight against Jinx. We all know how excited she gets, and so will the Jin Air fans. The Glad Plane would represent ROX Tigers out of the playoffs.
Yep. Well, Teddy just came off the backside of a pentakill, now has one of the biggest hyper carries in the game. Let's see what work he can do. Let's see if he can vindicate KSV at the end of the day, or if ROX will punch their tickets into the playoffs. Let's go. Game number 3. I think they win that one. Jin Air, the fans sticking through. That's a great photo.
The ROX fans cheering on one side for Songyun. Lovable guy. One guy to talk about backstage. The Jin Air fans also being shrill. I like it.
I'm amazed that he's like amazed that he's gotten on camera.
Was that OGN Wraith fan to go with OGN Cake fan?
Maybe.
His mouth agape at the possibilities in this game.
Enjoying some Kirin Ichiban. It seems like right there. Had the new Cherry Blossom edition that comes around every year. Enjoying some Japanese beer, it seems.
So we did get a range support in the end. It is going to be Kate Lulu going on in this game, as Lulu is very frustrating for Braum to deal with in the laning phase. She's also very gankable, so there's no guarantees that the Lulu will get through the laning phase scot-free. Getting excited about this final game, a best of one, largely to decide ROX Tigers, because, you know, unfortunately, because we have the match tomorrow, it's not clear. They are not officially eliminated with a loss, but they moved behind KSV. And if SKT, as expected, beat Kongnu Monster, ROX Tigers would be eliminated. So that is the full understanding of the situation ROX find themselves in.
Teddy almost had 50% damage share.
4.6 CS per minute as well. Just Teddy things.
Fantastic from him.
And now his career debut on the Jinx, which we're seeing more and more of this week.
Grace going for a very early roam over to get that ward
Now
down.
it's a very early
for
Q in the face.
Doesn't do that much damage yet.
No
It's
mantra on that one.
2 rocks, and he basically trades back the same amount of damage there onto lava.
Gives some important information on where the Skarner is going. Cannot be overstated. The pathing information with the long spawn retimers on the camps can be very useful. 2v2, we expect the double range Caitlyn lane to run away with bot lane, but given the lack of vision control, very gankable is Caitlyn Lulu.
Things can turn around very quickly if they get that push going through. Weaver's wall down to the bottom side, and this definitely could turn on their head. Songyun roams over, get a ward down. Umti says, hey, how's it going? I'm just going to freeze you up real quick, but don't worry, nobody else is nearby to finish you off. So I'll just dash away.
It's actually Guardian Lulu. Cool to see. I think that's the second time in the LCK we've had it. Usually associated with the melee tanks, but given that he is all about keeping Caitlyn alive, you can understand it. We'll notice no longer do they go into the spell thieves when it comes to the gold generation. It is going to be into the ancient coin because of the latest nerfs towards the AP line. And the fact that there was an extra buff, the extra movement speed can be very important for the Lulu. Also means her gold generation is the highest, the most selfish gold generation item. So the rush to the Ardent Sensor and the Zeke's Convergence will definitely be on for Key. How early in this game will we have Ardent Sensor, Zeke's, Athenes?
See? This is what I'm talking about, man.
You know, it hasn't been winning recently, it's fair to say. I can understand your skepticism, but it is very strong in the mid-game. It is very good at force, and I actually really like Skarner Ornn as a duo, because as Skarner is pulling someone, the two sides of the Core of the Forge God, Zone and CC, such a large area that you can just focus down on that one person, put down a trap, and it's the worst day of your life if you're being suppressed in this game.
Expecting some early QSSs to come through, especially from the likes of Teddy. See how many others are going to have to build up for those.
Always fun to see the item build on the Jinx. You can definitely punch in an Infinity Edge and 2 Zeal items, but always the chance of 3 Zeal items. That's what SMLZ went to in one of his series. And, oh, actually interrupted the shot there, I believe. Tell for sure. Or it could just be more standard AD carry builds. Plenty of different ways to go. Doesn't quite have the Ardent Sensor for the extra attack speed, though, so won't be as powerful as 3-item Caitlyn this game. Catalyst is pieced together for Linderon.
I don't know why we keep watching the top side. Nothing's going to be going on there for a while.
Oh, yes. Let's watch Karma and Talia lane at it, Achilles.
We got a Jinx in the game versus a Caitlyn. We could be watching the bot lane exclusively. Okay, somehow still want to take some damage.
Skarner is top side. We're going to back away. Nothing to get there. Inferno is spawned. Umti is not going to start it up, but he does announce his presence on the bot side. Are they going to look for a gank here? They could try and turn on to
head
the
dashes over the wall.
Not a lot
Lava.
of damage, though.
Yeah, he's got the shield. He's pretty quick.
Oh, but Lava's going to lose his control ward now as well. Worst day of his life.
Gets a nice little chunk there onto Grace. Push coming through. The Skarner roaming down. We're going to connect here onto Grace.
Predator's being used, so a lot of
shove.
gap
Saw one coming around the side. Grace going to try to get away from here.
His
Level 6. Grace going to go low. Flashes over. Gets pulled up. One more hit would do it, and Lava finds it. Blind over the wall, gets the kill there onto Grace. First blood over to ROX.
Range on that call. The Forge Guard is so far. Gets both sides, about 300 damage. Able to pick up the kill, and Linderung won't even lose a minion wave. Just Ornn things in this particular game. That wasn't the Ornn Skarner synergy I expected, but it's definitely one that gets ROX Tigers a nice lead. So the Predator being popped here was the danger zone. He gets the information now, just as he's about to go into the brush. But both sides of the Ornn ultimate, and I believe the Fracture is enough, and just a Q picks up the kill for Lava, gets the first item going. Will be Athene's after, you would imagine, the Archangels with the same build we saw from game number 1.
And now that's going to be Grace losing both of his summoners, so very vulnerable in the mid lane. And a nice early lead going over to the side of the ROX Tigers.
Top lane,
This
though.
is a ticking time bomb of a composition.
And it's also a ticking time bomb in full view. It is an equal in CS. The double ranged hasn't necessarily given them a meaningful lead in lane. Lulu's laning phase, a range support, the strongest ever when she's going to be going down the ancient coin line. But regardless, it is largely about chip damage onto the Braum, and then obviously the peel and the setup for Caitlyn, who definitely has more tools for success when we crest the mid game, and those items are complete onto the Lulu and the Karma.
Grace just being a good sport, helping kill that red buff a little bit faster there for Umti, so he can speed up the clear. Try to keep pace with this Skarner.
Glacial augment Scion. He knows he's peeling, so even in a team fight, if he autos everyone on the enemy team, he's doing his job to slow down for the Jinx. It is really, really difficult to deal with a Jinx comp in the late game. If you had Jinx on the side of ROX Tigers, then you would just say that you hit 4 items on everyone, and you almost can't lose a team fight because of the amount of shields and the fact that there is no item to counter shields in the game, that you just kind of run away with the game. And the Caitlyn, she's not quite Jinx, but 6-item Caitlyn is also very, very obnoxious. So there is still some very great breakpoints here for the side of ROX Tigers, and very difficult to see how Sang-Yun will be killed.
Well, yet again, they're looking for Grace. It's going to be a TP being burned out by Wraith just to try to threaten them back. Does complete it, and we'll just go ahead and trot his way down the river. It's not going to be the worst here, as for Wraith to go ahead and full channel that. Pushing forward, looking for some pressure here onto Songwon.
She
Tries
could
to take
test
away
the Spire. See it contested. ROX Tigers lost around this area in game number 2. Push back up again. Again, so much of this game is about the mid-game for ROX. They do not want to opt into the late-game Jinx that is now guaranteed. Farming away very happily.
Umti really playing with fire.
Remember, Linderung doesn't have teleport, but neither does Scion. Amazing how we're seeing the same sort of battle around the same time, 2 games in a row.
So far, it's going decently well here for Jin Air, but they need to actually secure that red buff, and now the Caitlyn's going to be roaming over. That gets pushed back in. We'll go ahead and take that one away.
This claim there by Umti, they back away, so this invade a lot less bloody than the one we saw in game number 1.
Would have been amazing if it still ended with Teddy getting a double kill.
That's true. Quite that cost, but Teddy is so happy to have a really extended laning phase. BF Sword boots 2, BF Sword into a Zeal item. Right, counter laning phase, and Sejuani's here, as we know.
He's got the ult ready to go. He's pushing forward. They know that he's nearby, but gets a lockdown there. On to Sang-Yun. Traps come in. Glacial Fissure. He gets annihilated, and Umti finds the kill.
No vision on the bot side. Too easy for the side of Jin Air. The answering kill send their fans into ecstasy. Don't even need to invest the mid laner either. And it should be an Infernal Drake also for the side of Jin Air.
Fantastic trade up here for the side of Jin Air. Evening up the gold, getting that kill, and now an Infernal Drake to set them that much further ahead. Once those items start rolling in, Teddy and this Talia from Grace is going to be that much scarier, that much more power backing them up. Go ahead, get the recalls off so they can get back into lane faster, but this is a great turnaround here for Jin Air.
No equivalent trade on the top side. No Rift Herald taken by the Skarner too early in the game. For him to try to solo it down. Just go for a Raptor steal. Now, the Gathering Storm of the late game Jinx gets even stronger with the Infernal Drake going the way of Jin Air.
Again, so much riding on this. If ROX Tigers lose out on this game, they then have to place their faith in Kongdu Monster versus SK Telecom. Not a position that any team wants to be in. Not even Kongdu. I don't think Kongdu wants to have to rely on Kongdu.
Unfortunately, when they are on such an extended losing streak, 13 series in a row, very hard to see any confidence in Kongdu Monster picking up that victory, especially with how good SKT looked in the last 2 series.
Has been a turnaround for those guys.
And game's not over, but it's actually Static Shiv rushed by the Caitlyn, trying to get as much pushing power as possible, but no BF sword to look for any real trade potential.
He's just trying to clear out the vision, but Songwon is nearby. Let's see how much of a threat he thinks the Skarner is. He has been chased back.
Morin is roaming mid lane again, but Summoner's back up.
Look at the pop-up, but that's about it. We'll go charging back up towards the top side of the map.
Might get some bot side control, but with the Drake off spawn and no other real advantages to pick up. Nice little sidestep from Linderung.
Dodged all that damage.
Sliding scales of excitement, Achilles.
My slider's set to 1.
That's fair.
And it goes to 11.
Well, that's, you know, okay. I can accept that. It's Sion versus Zoran. Even the Bannon's been nerfed, so the excitement from this lane is really only about whether the Ornn ultimate gets a lot of value, and we know that Wraith exists on Braum, so it's going to be tricky to pull off. All about timings for ROX. There is still going to be the mid game where, although the Caitlyn won't be the most powerful champion ever, if she has Infinity Edge and there is an Ardent Censer and an Athene's Unholy Grail, that is a team fight that ROX Tigers have comped for. They have picked for. That is the specific timing when they will feel strongest. Lava on the front foot got them a lot of advantages in game number 1 when he was able to pick up double buffs with a flash over the Baron pit. Given top lane has been so much more defensive, those other things haven't been available for the side of ROX in game number 3.
Yeah. It's got those 2 juggernauts going back and forth up top. Nobody going to die in the 1v1. But the bot lane is where things get more and more interesting. BF sword ready to go here for Teddy. He's got the Ninja Tabi ready as well. So mitigating the damage that Songyun has just from the static Shiv.
Much sorcery tree as we've had in previous patches. Neither. See if the mid laners on the side of ROX and Jin Air are taking the Gathering Storm. Potentially be trying to lock and load here. Jin Air, but obviously going to be very happy about how the early game has gone. Songyun, with the picks, at least will do some decent damage, as the shielding, of course, gives the extra on-hit damage from the Lulu. But the wards are being snuck further and further up to spot a lane gank, one of the best ways to answer Aramis, but also Predator junglers like the Skarner and the Olaf. Already had a contest at the previous red buff, and we're having a do-over here by Jin Air GreenWings.
Pushing in. We'll get spotted out here, and Vision just has the timer on that red buff. And Teddy and Wraith are already nearby to back him up, as is Grace, so they're really just trying to control this one. They'll push it back. Smite comes down.
Gonna go the way of Jin Air again.
Not gonna have it. Jin Air is perfectly happy with that. They don't want an extended fight. They just want to deny these buffs away from Songwon.
No red buff. Able to continue to relieve pressure from any of the lanes. Very, very happy for them. Bot lane continues to farm. Jinx having the ability to go situationally to longer range than the Caitlyn. Makes it hard for Caitlyn to just get a big health lead over her opponent, like she can in most traditional 1v1 lanes. Common pick we see in the LCK against Caitlyn has been the Ashe, and that is a prey favorite, of course, but the Jinx is another way to go. The draft of the early Sion Sejuani is set up for a hyper carry, and Jin Air had the confidence to lock it in early. The reward seems to be a very safe farming phase for Teddy.
Ult just going back to lane. So on the express line will
Can he interrupt the back also?
Oh, yes he can.
Nice.
Gets the stop. Decimating smash. And no real damage going to be coming off the back, but mostly just going to be the delay as he waits for the wave to come through.
He's going to keep interrupting for a while.
Yeah, he's going to keep trying to just be a jerk.
And Linderung has no mana, so despite the fact that he can get very easy items, he doesn't feel great about giving up his mana bar, especially as Jin Air playing around the pressure they have, setting up for the Rift Herald on the top side trying to take advantage of the low mana bar on Lindor.
He's going to have to try to clear out the wave with what he's got left. Otherwise, minions are going to be denied away from him, or he has to use the TP to get back in the lane, which gives So On the advantage.
4 summoners up in bot lane as Sungwon has been able to creep in.
Makes his way through. Key right now just holding the wave for Songyun, so no real reason to think that something is awry here for Jin Air. They throw down a control ward. Wraith, go ahead. Throws that one in, and Songwon can't get anything done. Good game sense there from the Braum.
That was good game sense, because if you look at the map, there wasn't
they're just going to try to turn this one around. They're going to go ahead and lock him in. Glacial Prison into the Glacial Fissure. He finds his wall, but he's got nowhere to go. Teddy, he finds the kill. And oh my God, what a feel-bad moment for that Skarner.
Yeah, he definitely got stood upon, did the Skarner. He's dead, and that gives up another Drake. Off spawn, they've been able to get so much control on the bot side. They actually want more.
They're looking for the turret. Teddy going to start shredding that one down. We'll work it to about half HP before these minions get taken out by the static shiv. But man, not afraid to hit that go button is Jin Air. And now with Songwon still dead, they will start up an Ocean Drake, their second of the game.
And this may be how the season ends for ROX, with everything set up for them to make playoffs. Jin Air with nothing on the line.
He's out.
ROX is trying for something.
TP now coming through from So On as well. Flash away comes out there from Key. Tries to keep himself alive. Ocean Drake goes over to Jin Air, who should be able to disengage, but So On is coming back in. Doesn't have the Impale, however. All the Forge God now thrown down. Tries to get the pop-up. Will find one there onto Umpty, but everybody's still cutting back with Grace. Going dangerously low. Gets the seismic shove, but Lava has the Mantra Q to take him down. So, gonna be one kill there over to the side of ROX, making it a 2-for-2, but they lose the Dragon.
An answering kill, but that's all. They do not manage to pick up the Drake, of course. 2 now stacking for ROX, and they know they need more immediate gold. They need to get as much going as possible. That's why there's a teleport down by
but
Wraith.
This could be bad. That's gonna be the traps coming through to try to keep Wraith alive, but I think he might have just given himself up. Nope. Stand behind me, takes him over to the minion wave. This turret is taking a hell of a lot of damage as ROX just tries to focus fire this one down. Teddy with the rockets wants to burn through it, but can't do it in time. And now they have to be fearful of this Skarner, who nearly has that Impale off cooldown.
And if you're just listening to this one on audio, this is a radio broadcast. You can hear the fans taking turns celebrating. If you try to sit back and judge who that benefits, it benefits Jin Air because they have the scaling advantage in their composition. ROX Tigers picking up the turret gold is important. They want to hit their items as early as possible. Very early power spike for Lava, who is going to be going for the same build, Ardent Sensor, after the Athene's Unholy Grail. Caitlyn needs the Infinity Edge, and that's where ROX Tigers do everything they can to fight, because that's where it's best for ROX.
Now ROX Tigers, they bring themselves back into a very slight lead with that first brick, keeping things competitive. But as you say, Jin Air with the scaling, they would like for this lead to be so much larger than it is.
It's pretty satisfying when you roll through and clear the wave and put down a banner and leave.
One fell swoop, and he's just like, all right, my work is done.
This is the guy who knows his exact sandwich order, can say it somehow in one sentence, and then just leaves. It's like, yep, that's what I wanted, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
I like the decisive play. Well done, So On. He's going bot lane because, of course, the Orin has already entered there, and now Karma has to deal with this. No fun for the Karma.
How many autos does it take? It's like 5.
Well, thankfully it was chunked out from the Karma perspective.
It already took some damage. Otherwise, it would have been much, much more than that. But now maybe looking for the pinch here onto the top side. Lava going to get wrapped around on. Here comes the lockdown. Flashes away. Won't get hit by the zap. Weaver's Wall, however, canceled in the end. They shove him back away from the turret, which should be able to be taken here by Jin Air.
Really important that he lived. They also have now inside track on the mid lane. That's why the Tlio wall was cancelled. And all the way back instantly. Jin Air out of position for this. And Songwon trying to stop them from getting there.
They're zipping their way in, but they're getting quite a bit of damage through.
How many turret shots can they tank? They decide only a few. They will back away.
Even with all the shielding that's available, Songyun doesn't want to stick around for too long.
Damn, look at how much they've invested in Songyun. They have a rush on the Mikhails of all items.
Yeah.
That's not a redemption for the team. That's a Mikhails for one person only, so that Caitlyn can stand in the front.
Well, it should result in them maybe getting this turret. Here comes the charge. So-Won going to get interrupted there by Songwon, but they pop him up. Wild Growth comes through, but it doesn't even matter. Teddy gets the kill. He gets excited. Call the Forge God comes down. Pops up 3 as Wraith goes dangerously low, as does Teddy, but he's still firing away, trying to get lava, but he just can't do it. Seismic shove pulls Linderong back in. The Karma almost goes down, and Empty barely lives. 90 caliber net not quite catching the Sejuani. Just going to be the Skarner that dies in all of this, and Jin Air are feeling comfortable enough to push forward and get some damage in onto this tier 1 in mid.
No items onto Songyun yet really delays the impact of some of these plays. End up giving up one. They can't even get an answering kill. That was with Infinity Edge from Songyun. It's all about that mid-game trough from the Caitlyn in particular. Soon the Ardent Sensor will be there. Soon it will be as much assistance as the Karma can provide short of a Zeke's convergence, which we may well see. We see in Mikhail's, anything is possible. We watch the fight, Songwan in the front line. Just gets womboed down, not enough peel for him. From there they're able to peel away, and Lava is close to actually getting a kill on the back end to Teddy. Say the same thing about Teddy, taking him down with 3 stacks of the concussive blows. We take a deep breath, we reload. This game is super close.
Yeah, I think one more rocket with the concussive blows proc probably just goes ahead and kills the Karma. So very close. You can see they're just siphoning as much into Teddy as humanly possible. 2-0-1 so far here on the Jinx. On his debut with this pick, now has the Infinity Edge completed, which was absent in that last fight, so he just got that much scarier. As well, it's just going to be a return of the favor here as far as the Banner of Command minion is considered.
Now's the time for Sowan and Umti to stack as much armor as possible. When you see that not even a redemption is opted into, and Mikhail's, an item we almost never see, is bought.
It's a rare one.
You know that you need the armor and you need it stat. ROX Tigers walk up, they'll get this turret. 2-0, so the turret lead so far is making up all of the gold lead for ROX Tigers.
Top, very well prepped by Jin Air. It's ready to die, but they just haven't been able to get back up there to finish it off. That pressure from mid drew them away from it, so has eluded them so far.
And ROX have not been drawn into a true Drake fight yet. They have been able to win. Jin Air looking for a pick. Probably want to kill the Lulu first. That would be the dream. They have control over the Cloud Drake. Second spawn coming through. It's 8.5 with the buffed Cloud Drake, so it is definitely an important objective to fight over.
Already shown that the wild growth is not enough to keep the likes of Songwan alive, so I don't know if Jin Air really gives a damn. Quick comes down to, ult goes through, finds a lockdown in on the lava, and Songwan, he's gonna almost get popped.
That doesn't matter, he's out of the fight. Yep. Potentially they can turn on to the Drake from this.
If he wants to push forward to try to impale anybody, Teddy can just blow him up in a couple shots.
He's already recalling, and ROX are trying to make a fake attempt at going for Baron to buy time for Songwan to recall. I like to see that. They're trying to bait Jin Air topside so that jungler can come back, and so far it's been successful.
Yeah, now they're going to go ahead and see that this was all just a ruse. Lava going to get spotted out. Grace finds that control ward behind the pit.
I like that sort of gamesmanship. That's a really good mind game to pull, because when you see all these support items, you're like, I don't think they can do Baron. Wait, maybe they can?
They have a lot of shielding.
And so they back away. So smartly done by ROX.
Have that.
Always good to see that. A true debated moment.
Songwan now will go ahead and take the Spire. He's in vision, however, from the Scuttle Crab, so Jin Air getting ready to converge, and Grace does have that Weaver's Wall ready to go.
They do a lot of damage.
Yes, they do. It's going to go dangerously low, so it'll be taken in the end by Songwan, who gets that Weaver's Wall now coming in through for Grace. Big pop-up off that wild growth.
And they kill anyone.
Back there as he goes low. One more hit would finish him off, but they just can't quite get him yet. Call the Forge God, not going to get him as Jin Air goes on full retreat. Songwan still up in the front line, looking to offer somebody tanky here to deny the hits.
Songyun?
But Songyun is out for blood. Anna going to be low, so on, looking for the decimating smash. Can't get anything, though.
That was
no one will die.
And that was the moment where Songyun was supposed to hard carry, but doesn't have the items or the mana to actually frontline extensively, and had to flash defensively in the fight. So close for ROX, but this is when they're strongest. This is when they have the Ardent Sensor. They need to get another Zeal item, and maybe even some armor penetration before they can kill Sejuani and Sion that are equal to the task for now.
Very strange fight. Nobody dies in the end. Cloud Drake does get picked up by ROX, and it's going to be another Infernal on the way. But Jin Air would love to just go ahead and snatch up in 6 minutes' time.
Well, at least now we know what happens when shields and tanks run at each other. No deaths.
Nobody dies.
Nothing. And there's the last Whisper, so actually going to delay going for a second attack speed item. Does have the Ardent Sensor, so there is a bit of attack speed there to allow him to cheat a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's a 3-item Teddy, who situationally will actually be doing more damage than what Sungyun is able to. Went for safety, so didn't go Hurricane, which we do see onto the Jinx pretty frequently, using the rocket range.
Shifting that one up, going for the rapid fire cannon. Charge coming through, looking for Salt One yet again.
Sungyun split away.
They'll lock him down, they'll get the pump up. He's just getting melted through everything that they throw in. The Wild Growth getting it, not enough as Teddy finds the first kill of the fight. Now it's going to be another one as Empty takes out Linderung. Jin Air GreenWings are doing it. They get two, and now they're looking at Baron.
Of course they should be. They split away the AD carry and support. You cannot play that way. It's the wrong formation from ROX. But the Scion ultimate caused disarray, and Sungyun being out of position should mean Baron to to Jin Air GreenWings.
Baron going low. They're trying to poke out where they can. Lava going to get locked up by the Chompers, and a big deny there on that Monster Q. Means that there's no chance at a steal. The Baron goes to Jin Air 27 minutes into this game, and they can use it to finally take a turret.
What a wild series. So much standing gold for Jin Air to pick up that will actually grow the gold lead. And right now is only 1,700. Really big positioning mistakes from ROX, and very opportunistic from So1 to drift in and completely separate away Songwan. The Skarner curse you referred to may in fact be real. We're going to see the replay here. Watch what happens. Remember, everything is set up for Sungyun to be safe in the front line, the back line, whichever line. But he walks away, and then Braum, Sion, and Sejuani are beefy tanks, and there's nothing the AD carry can do. Basically, the front line is surrendered at the altar to Jin Air as Teddy ravages the front line.
Yeah, it's a great angle there on the Unbreakable as well. Everybody piling in behind it. Wraith just blocking any damage that was trying to push through. Wonderfully done. Jin Air pushing on several fronts here. We'll get that turret in mid as they claim the gold lead yet again for themselves.
ROX Tigers.
Salon is just chunking out Sungyun, who is also taking a considerable amount of damage from that Banner of Command minion. The Baron, now that the Baron buff is there as well. They cheat forward and try to threaten him. He's just gonna go for a quick little ride. Says, thanks for stopping by. I'm out.
Shouts cowards as he does it. The gold lead now crests 5,000. This comp from ROX only works one way. They can only be the super best friends in a line as 5. Being split, friendship ending, has allowed Jin Air to pick up so many turrets. They had 0 just a minute ago.
This is one of those moments where I really wish we had a live camera on KSV watching in the back room or watching from home, just seeing their reaction. Picture in picture on the bottom side of the screen.
Achilles, if they were smart, they would have turned it off after game 1. They would have been, yep, this is exactly what I expected. And then been shouted at by their family, by their friends, they'd turn it back on. Getting a big favor done for you. It's looking like Jin Air will stop ROX Tigers from making playoffs unless Kongdu Monster can upset SKT tomorrow.
Which is such a small chance. ROX Tigers, they need to pull out all the stops. They need to try to make this Skarner work, because so far, every time Songwon tries to go forward, they just focus fire him. CC one after the other. Wild Growth, the shield from the Karma. It doesn't mean jack.
They have no way to get to the enemy AD carry because they are an AD carry focused comp. They are peeling for the Caitlyn in every single way. Every item, bar the shield onto the Karma, is about utility for Sungyun. And let's just say that he's got that shield, so he lives longer to give more shields to the AD carry. But that means they can't get to Teddy, who has a very robust front line. You look at the Scion, it's Thorn Mail and also another Warden's Mail. The Sejuani has had Randuin's a long time. They can't get that first kill. The Skarner doesn't itemize into quite that tankier build. It's caught in the front line with utility items and dies pretty fast. And maybe the teamfight ends just with that.
Not been a good look for Skarner fans around the world here for LCK. As far as those standings are concerned, sorry, Captain Flowers. Your favorite pick just doesn't work here, it would seem.
Seems to have been found out. Overtime was very powerful at the start, but teams getting better and better and playing against it. And every team that prized at this series has been on the losing side. Very, very hard for Key to walk up. He dies to a gust of wind. AP John are going to take him out with a one-shot.
Oh, moving forward, control wards come down. D going to be up here in the front. Tap comes down. It's Sungyun in the chin, but he's going to be all right. They finally get a red buff.
And look, there is a lot of damage onto the Caitlyn, but there's more on the Jinx. A second Infernal as well.
16% now.
24% if they can pick up the first Elder Dragon. Jinx's laning being so clean into Caitlyn is something that I'm sure teams during the gauntlet are going to be looking at. The Caitlyn meta, we were screaming for Caitlyn, for Jinx ever since Deft, you know, Buff came through, and Deft, one of the most famous Jinx players, probably the most famous Jinx player.
Didn't go for it.
Hasn't played it yet, but there's still time.
Teddy didn't go for it at the time. Now he's playing it to a T. The knock up there as they try to break the turret. Quite a bit of damage in onto it. But they lose the wave. Wave clear here from the ROX Tigers is pretty much their one saving grace at the moment without a Baron buff on Jin Air.
I hear some laughs. I hear some happiness. Jin Air in full control of this game. You're correct in that it's very hard to get into ROX space, but the reverse is true. It's very hard for ROX to get out of their base and actually impact the map in a meaningful way. Second Baron spawning in a minute 50. A third Zeal item. He is going for the triple Zeal item onto the Jinx rather than any sort of armor penetration. It's the build you see, because if you get that first kill, and you know that first kill will be Skarner, the moment Skarner dies, we're talking crazy amounts of attack speed with triple Zeal item and the 130% onto the Q. Teddy ready to decide this game alone. ROX will wonder if they've already been outscaled.
Teddy's like, you guys got some shields, check out mine. I got an overshield coming through from this nice little bloodthirster.
Who needs a Mikhails or a QSS when you got damage and healing, says
screw
Teddy.
it. Not necessary. Songyun trying to poke them out. Frontline coming through. Songyun takes a lot of damage as a Skarner, or rather the Sion just charges right in. Songyun already out of the fight. Lava nearly taken down as well by the Rockets. Linderong is desperately trying to escape, but he cannot. Grace finds the killing blow in Jin Air. Are going to be barreling down the mid lane, looking for an inhibitor in the base of the ROX Tigers.
Songyun can't frontline against this team. It's too much damage. They're pushing in, like you said, they're going to try and tank it up. Minion wave is still far away. That will slow down the game, but one frontliner is down. He was the only one with real armor. This other one is a fake frontliner, let me tell you.
Just wait to watch the crits here from Teddy. Weaver's Wall coming in from the side. Great angle by Grace. Gets Key and Songyun stuck. He'll jump over the wall with a 90 caliber net, but now it's an inhibitor exposed here in the mid lane. They're just going to go ahead and push back and look for the Baron.
No need to be greedy. Back away. You're still so confident in your comp as the game goes on. Caitlyn comp has been shown not to work. Worked in game one because of the great play around topside by Linderong and Songwon. Lava was also opportunistic in that game. This was more passive. The Jinx eventually farmed her way to 420 CS. That's a bit on the nose. But also, plenty of items. The Hurricane will come out this game. Attack speed cap will be uncapped. And a 2,400 gold lead for Teddy.
Nothing else. Teddy is blazing trails right now with this Jinx. Setting up a path for Jin Air to find victory.
You know what the greatest irony?
Guide KSV back in.
You know what the greatest irony is about ROX Tigers in this game? How did they get all their wins in 2017 summer when they were not one of our best teams? Either Songyun carries or we lose. This season, it's all been about everyone stepping up. Linderong, Songwon, Lava, they've all had carry performances, and yet when it came to the decisive game, they put everything into it, and it's going to be turned against them.
Yet again, the lockdown coming back through here onto Linderong. The pop, the wild growth in onto the Ornn, but he can't do anything, can't even catch the backside of that call. The Forge God just has to let it go. No knockups to be had, but does survive this round.
This time Songyun's healthy, he's walking up, he does decent damage to be true.
Songwon, however, already down to half HP.
There is that Hurricane onto Teddy. Monstrously strong, but that's the irony that can't be lost on me. When everything was required, ROX went back to what worked last year. They didn't trust in the echo from Lava. They didn't trust in a diverse playstyle. They went for Protect the 80 carry. And honestly, Jin Air have Teddy, and they're actually wearing the Protect the 80 carry comp even better. It's 100% crit from the Jinx. She is outrageously strong.
I mean, they're just basically taking bullets for Teddy. They're not really staying alive themselves. They're not being the front line. They're just being bodies that can be claimed by the side of Jin Air while Songyun heads for the hills.
He's an item ahead as well. Remember, there's still a Doran shield onto the Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Baron buff dies very fast, this Jinx.
And they're sitting on a ward. Would love to clear that one out, but
They don't have any
invest
sweepers.
another control. He takes a laughable amount of damage and just heals it straight back up. Even gets the overshield from one rocket.
Tense stuff around the stadium. The Baron, second Baron will be started soon. Okay, now started. Weaver's Wall to just guarantee it.
A nice cutoff. They'd have to flash this one. Baron burning down now to half HP. TP coming through from the Ornn on the bottom side. And Baron has been claimed. The Durang will continue the channel.
So clean.
All the Forge God ready to go. They're going to push forward.
Can they burst him?
They get that impale down here and onto him. Polymorph comes
Will he
through,
die?
and so on. Goes low, but it's not before Songwon gets taken down.
Teddy!
Now he turns it back. Double kill going through Key. One more hit would finish him off. Ultimate not quite enough. He's flashing in. Teddy wants blood. Or charging forward rather. It's a bit more than that. They lose so on, but he's got TP. They can easily take down this inhibitor.
They tried
the
to
wave is prepped and bought.
They tried to focus down the Scion, but he comes back and he's still in the front line through the zombie, and they might try to end the game.
They're looking forward right now. Hits going through. It's a couple shots off onto the turret, but overall, Jin Air, they don't want to throw this away. They do want to take the measured approach. Wave's going to get cleared out here in bot, so likely just going to be the one inhibitor for now, but they're rotating over and the Elder Dragon has spawned.
And there's no way for ROX Tigers to be in position for that. Sungwon will be dead till now, so they will get the Elder. 24% AD and AP. Another little chunk of damage onto the Jinx, who will now be around 446 AD, if you don't mind. And Sungyun's already kind of given up on the damage race, Achilles. He actually went for a Guardian Angel. You know, if you die once, you're dying a second time, Caitlyn.
Yeah, don't think you're going to be getting away from that one, but we'll go ahead and take a look at the replay around Baron.
The best case scenario of the Weaver's Wall is this 8-second stun and stop them from getting a Baron. And ROX say, if we can burst Scion, maybe we can do this. So they bring in the trap line as well, so you understand what they're trying to do. But unfortunately, the Jinx gets excited, as you would expect, because there's no health onto the front line. And she has more damage than the Caitlyn does. They're in full turret defense mode. They are looking completely delay the game. No map control at all. The Guardian Angel isn't going to help them. The Gathering Storm proc, when it comes at 40 minutes, will be one for the Jinx as well. Elder Dragon buff. Outrageous how much damage Teddy will be doing.
Yeah, a minute and 30 just about on both of these buffs as they continue to push forward. Looking to break the turret here in the top side. Bot moving away from them at the moment. So a slight reprieve there for the ROX Tigers. They need to just try to deny a fight. The trap line will buy them some time.
And the siege will be slow. It needs to be rocket launcher autos or a turret dive. And turret dive is probably the one way to actually have this game turned against them.
Grace will bring up everything else, but needs to auto that one down. Help with the minions. Should be able to get it rather quickly. The rest of Jin Air just remaining up top. See, the wave clear is still going to be strong for ROX.
To what end is kind of the question you ask. Does mean that Jin Air are wasting their stacked buffs. They're not going to be able to fight with Elder and Baron, which will time out roughly the same, about 10 to 11 seconds offset. I mean, just compare the front lines, Achilles. It's double Randuin's Thornmail, Knight's Vow, and a Chain Vest to just
well, here we go.
a little bit of armor, and now they're looking for this third turret.
Now Weaver's Wall comes through. Songyun has to hop out of there yet again. A couple hits. Call the Forge God coming through, but it's going to be blocked by the Unbreakable. Nicely done there by Wraith. Inhibitor exposed, but yet again can't be taken safely yet by Jin Air. But with the Super Creeps pushing into mid, that might just give them enough space to work with.
Now Randuin's onto the Skarner. He dies so fast to the Jinx that he won't even get in range of the sort of engage that will be easily disengaged. Very hard to get value in the late game as come the autos. They're trying something.
Double buffs are gone. Wraith just trying to protect Teddy as they try to burn through this inhibitor. Teddy takes a massive hit, however, has to pop the heal and kite back. Songwon, however, gets the impale down, drags Songwon out. He'll go low, gets knocked up, but now they turn it around. Teddy finds another kill off the bat, and Songwon gets himself over to the mid side of the map just to stay alive. Grace as well, looking to poke in from the side. Teddy flashes in, looking to finish him up, but just cannot get the damage in. Ace in the hole, going to be blocked by the Unbreakable. Teddy manages to live, will heal up off of those wolves. The inhibitor still stands.
It's so fascinating watching these fights where it's basically 4 people giving the MVP a massage and the AD carry having to do all the work. Really exciting
They're
to
not
watch.
done yet. They're
but
still
it's
sticking
5v4
around.
still, remember.
He'll go ahead. He'll pop this inhibitor. A second one falling. Teddy gets excited off the take. Tries to get some damage in onto Songyun, but the shields are still significant from Key. All the Forge God coming through. Just going to go ahead, shoot that one straight to the goalposts.
Songyun hasn't been able to get mana back, so it's pretty low on mana as Grace brings up the wave in bot lane. Game's still not ending. The respawn does come through. It is 5v5 once again, but there's that Weaver's Wall.
Another one comes down. Linderong and Lava on this side. They go ahead and break the wall. Big
Songyun!
seismic shove. Songyun goes low. They throw in the rocket, but they cannot get the pop. But this is going to allow them to go ahead and break this last inhib turret and likely just take this inhibitor. We'll see how feisty Jin Air is feeling as they continue to play around this bottom side, but now it's pressure from mid and top. Minions getting ready to crash into the Nexus. That's going to draw the attention of ROX.
Feels like ROX have to force something, but they don't have a force comp because the Forge guys answered so quickly.
They tried to force it with Songyun's flash, and now that one's gone.
Eddie's flash is down as well. How can they actually get on to the Jinx? How does the Impale come through? It doesn't, Achilles. That's the reality. The big, beefy tanks are still unkillable. Songyun's actually trading down in terms of autos. They go for
back
it.
up. That's going to be the Glacial Prison coming down and finds Lava, but he flashes away. But everybody's locked up in the front line. Songwon already dead. They'll get Linderong. The Buddha's at the double kill, going over to Grace. Jin Air looking to put the nail in the coffin here for the ROX Tigers. Crit goes forward onto Key. They're looking for the Nexus turrets. One has already been prepped quite nicely. Regen comes back through. It's now up to about half HP. They, at the very least, they're going to lose their third inhibitor yet again.
It's so amusing, but they're more respectful when the tanks are dead than they were when they were alive, just because Songyun can frontline so easily with all the shields. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I think this is where Jin Air wins.
Going to be looking for it. Big crit goes forward there onto Teddy. However, he's down to half HP. No heal available. Has to rely on that Bloodthirster. So they buy a second lease on life here for the moment. Does the ROX Tigers as Jin Air kites out.
Now, you might say it's a second lease, but they're getting a real bad premium on this one.
It's a short-term lease.
They are overpaying. They know that this is very much set up for failure to ROX, but they have to fight to the last. This is their last chance. Pick up the victory here and guarantee the playoffs today. And if they lose, they need Kongdu Monster to beat SK Telecom T1 tomorrow. 6 items now complete on Caitlyn. She now has 100% crit through triple Zeal item and also the improved Ornn Infinity Edge. The Molten Edge is complete. She does a lot of damage, but she's not Jinx in the late game, so I think she still gets outclassed.
Yeah. You can see Teddy perfectly happy to go ahead and stick with those Ninja Tabi. Wants to be denying the damage from Songyun throughout the fights. Not going to be looking for something like a Phantom Dancer for just the dumbest amount of attack speed.
We're going to have some dumb CS numbers in this game.
Yeah.
604 onto Songyun. Can't get any stronger. We'll red pot and then try to go. Well, I tell a lie. There could be some more Gathering Stone procs. That would make him stronger.
Got that, or he could sell the Guardian Angel and go for a different item.
At this point, I feel like if you die once, you die a second time, but the little bit of armor could be helpful. Ultra base defense going on here. This is usually when you're playing your phone game and they're trying to get you to pay some money to buy some DLC. Stop the loss. Nothing ROX can do. Jin Air going to push in there. Try and group 3 minion waves and then use the Weaver's Wall to get easy autos onto the Nexus turrets.
Pressure building up here. Baron empowered super creeps for the next 2 minutes and 40 seconds in the base of the ROX Tigers. Songyun pushes forward, tries to get a bit of damage in, but tickles the members of Jin Air at this point. And now they're going to have to worry about the Elder yet again in 45 seconds. Oh, Songyun.
Watch the Weaver's Wall.
Shields come through. They throw in the Weaver's Wall, as you say. And Grace just tries to clear out.
Just
the wave clear is still
auto.
just so good from the ROX Tigers, and they can just keep holding out.
It's against Baron buff, but the Baron buff's such an afterthought in this game. It's not enough stats. Songyun continue to frontline.
Remember, next Elder is full power.
It is. It will be the 100% amp up to 32% AD and AP. We only care about the AD. It's all about the AD carries in this game.
That's been the Teddy show. Finally breaks through the shields there onto Songyun. Redemption to come down. Call of the Forge God comes through, pops up multiple. They try to get into the back, but they immediately delete Songwon. Yet again, the Skarner can't do a damn thing. Lava's out. Teddy finds the kill. Big pop up there on the key as he tries to retreat, but everybody gets picked off one after the other. Linderong will die. Key's gonna follow suit. The pop there onto Songyun, and Jin Air GreenWings have done it. They have vindicated KSV and placed them into the playoffs now. Their fate is not in their own hands. ROX Tigers have to hope and pray that somehow Kongdu Monster upset SK Telecom tomorrow. Otherwise, that's it. They're done. Goodbye. We'll see you in summer.
Achilles, the irony is that Jin Air were the team with nothing to play for. The only thing on their back were the hopes of KSV, and they have done KSV a big favor. KSV versus SKT is now the most likely first match of the playoff. 1 week from today, we may have a rematch of the World Finals as the first match of the Gauntlet, unless the ultimate upset. This is up there, but if Kongdu Monster turn around a 14-match losing streak and then go on to win, that would be an even greater tale, a tall one. But if you told me at the start of today that KSV would almost beat Kingzone, and then we would see the ROX Tigers be taken down by Jin Air, I can't even put the words together. I can't even string it. It was that unlikely.
Man, is what you would have said. But they pull it off. And what an absolutely bonkers journey this entire series have been. We started off with a Swain J4 winning the game at 3 minutes. Then ROX getting absolutely clapped by Jin Air, and then this bout, this back and forth, where Teddy finally just exploded in with the Jinx and took over the entire game. No front line that ROX could put together stood a chance. Teddy took them down, each and every one of them, one after the other. Jin Air can go out on a high note with a glad plane, and they can feel good about having a newfound friendship alongside KSV.
They are definitely now brethren, Achilles, no other way to put it. Seems very, very likely that they have given KSV, we had Crown crying on our stage, tears, because this was not supposed to be the result. But they've done a great favor on this day, and that means that we get even more anticipation tomorrow as you get to see the damage numbers. They tell you that it's a team game. This game was disagreeing. This was an 80 carry showdown. At the end of the day, Teddy had a little bit more than Caitlyn could get to.
I mean, you take a look at the Skarner, just couldn't do anything. 3,700 damage throughout the Impales. Anytime he tried to go for anybody, just immediately gets focus fired and blown up. Songwon was an afterthought in this game as far as Jin Air was concerned. Just another target for them to blow up.
Amazing game, amazing series. We had 6 games today, which was unlikely given that we thought we knew going into the day what to expect.
I mean, I think you'd have to say that we had 2 excellent games that should go onto the list of what games to watch.
But how cruel were the twists and turns? This was definitely the scripted day where we had KSV take a game off Kingzone, almost beat them in a series, and then ROX Tigers thinking, oh, job's done, we're ready to go, we're going to beat Jin Air. Jin Air rolled over against Kingzone a few days ago, and then they beat ROX Tigers, and now suddenly it's all set up for tomorrow. And for a lot of people, that will be the expectation of the simple SKT 2-0. If Kongdu Monster win game 1, I think the world might explode.
I don't know what to expect anymore. I am not a betting man. I'm certainly not going to start this weekend, but Teddy, yet again, well-deserved. 700 points as he earns another MVP, 8-0 and 7. Deathless in both of his games.
He's pretty good. It turns out Teddy is a pretty good 80 carry. He makes top 5. I'm sure it's a 7 or 8 way tie. We're going to watch the replays as taking down Songyun in the early game was an ominous thing for the Jinx that we knew would outscale as the game went on, and the Weaver's Wall usage from Grace should also be complimented. Songwon, the saddest Scorpion ever, getting squished by the cruel hands of fate. And then honestly, Songwon was basically a bot the rest of the game. He could do nothing. There's nothing a Skarner can do against ultra frontline. Couldn't peel, couldn't engage. He actually clicked R on Jinx in the last fight. It didn't matter. Yeah. He died instantly as he attempted to do that. No role for a Skarner goes on, and you have to feel like Skarner priority, which already was on the wane, is going down.
Yeah, I think that just given the recent track record, it's something that people will likely start straying away from. The Skarner, about as effective as the Callista.
ROX Tigers will wonder about Game 2. There were so many conventional ways they could go on forward, but they did it the ROX way. They played the Kalista, that's the most played for Songyun, but then the execution let them down. That game was decided early. They left it all to a best of one, and best of ones are fickle. We don't get a lot of them in the LCK, but the best of one ended up being for all the marbles. And ROX Tigers, this team, that came out of nowhere, Achilles. They came from the bottom. They were expected to be bottom 2 for lots, big swaths of the season. Looked like they would be a playoffs team, and now the most unlikely of results is the only way they make it into playoffs. Now they are all but eliminated and are left to have a long off season of what if.
Plenty of time to think about what could have been had this game, had this series just gone a bit differently. Congratulations to Teddy, by the way, because he goes into a 4-way tie for 5th place alongside such names as Depth, Smeb, Bang.
Now OGN needs to live correspondence to someone telling Crown and giving him a big hug about this result.
That's what I'm saying. I would love to see it on camera. Honestly, Crown, he might have tears in his eyes still, but I think they would be tears of joy this time around.
I think relief is the word you're looking for. Joy,
that too.
Maybe he'll process that over time.
A little bit of both, I suppose, but...
So just to let you guys know, what this means is that KSV is in playoffs. KSV has made it. ROX Tigers are below KSV. The only way ROX Tigers can make playoffs is if SKT wins. So that is already settled. And SKT with a 2-0, they can actually jump to 4th place.
If SKT lose, you mean?
If
ROX
SKT
Tigers
win, they can jump to 4th place.
Ah, I see. Oh, okay. I see what you're... Sorry. I was misunderstanding. My bad. You're the analyst. I won't correct you. Anyway, let's go over to Joel to have our final interview of the regular split here at OGN. So Joel, take it away.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Joel with your last interview translation at OGN for the regular season. And we're going to be hearing from the kind of the last winners of what we're going to be seeing from OGN. It's going to be Jin Air GreenWings flying the Glad plane for the very last time once again for the regular season. Very last game for you guys, and a spectacular win. Couldn't have come at a better time. How do you guys feel? It was the last game, I should say, and we wanted to end it on a good note, and just getting that W on the board feels very good. Feels great. I'm sure there wasn't really a realistic point of motivation when it came to nothing really on the line by winning this game. I guess you could say that, but for our team, since it was the last game, we wanted to just kind of transfer over to the next season, and also, you know, with winning this game, I'm sure, you know, things will be a little bit better regarding the team morale for our team. You guys were on a 3-loss streak, and I'm sure that made it a little bit more meaningful that you guys got the victory here today. Definitely does. And what did the coach say before the game started? And during the practice, he was a little more strict when it came to the practices compared to usual. But he was very happy with how he played the game and actually got the win, which was very needed for our organization. Gonna have a talk with Sohan as well. It was just a bloodbath all over this entire series. You know, I'm really happy for my teammates who played extremely well. And I'm just happy to be in this team right now. And so on, it's already your 4th year at Jin Air, and it just has been, you know, a consistent rise from where you've been from the beginning of your stay here. It really was a good season to begin with, and but you know, it was some of those situations where things didn't go well. Got me a little more frightened along the way, definitely. There was a lot of motivation, especially for the other team who needed to get this win today, but Shilsa, you must have had a lot of pressure, but you played very well today despite that. If I can give myself a score today, I think I'll give myself 4 out of 10 today. from my performance. I mean, your Saiyan initiations cut off all the enemies. You know, I would like to be confident if this was back in a few months ago, but I'm feeling a little down now to be sure. Let's give him a lot of good applause to get him right back up. Also, talk with Grace as well. You know, whenever we do see him, just full of confidence. But how do you feel about the games today? The head coach always told us that the last game is the most important, and just putting on the kind of the last impression onto the fans with this last game was important for us, and that really motivated us to put on a good show to make sure and get the victory today. Getting the victory is nice, but you know, thinking about the season and kind of reflecting back on what we played throughout the season. But I think we could have, at instances, played a little bit harder and practiced a little bit harder, and all these things are little regrets that kind of combine into, you know, what we kind of see ourselves in the end of the season here. I'm sure you guys still, it's very important that you guys see that now in this present time of what has not been done in the past, but you know, especially with Grace here, it really was just a lot of professionalism. You know, when you talk about very much a new player in this league, and how was it, you know, going throughout the season? You know, I feel like I could act a little more like a rookie in my behaviors. But in the next season, I'll try to kind of go back to my rookie status a little bit, try to kind of support my teammates a little bit better.
형들 좀 이렇게 맞춰주고 기분도 맞춰주고 뭐 이런 것들. 여기 지금 레이스 선수가 살짝 당황하는 것 같아요.
Rafe seemed a little startled by that comment, but you know, I'm the youngin in this team, and I want to give all the affection and love to all my teammates here, to give them all the support. Let's have a talk with Justice as well. Player that, you know, has definitely worked just as hard as the other players in the team here. I didn't think I would be sitting here right now, but I wish I would have played a little more to contribute more to the team, but I feel sorry about that part. But I want to just work harder so that next season maybe I can make a difference. And you did have a big experience throughout the split, though, after instance. But looking back at the season, how do you feel? What has been the most disappointing thing for you? You know, before the season began, my form was looking really good, but as soon as the season began, my form kind of dipped a little bit. I had a hard time picking right back up, so you know, not being able to do it until the end of the season was kind of a disappointment for myself. Of course, that makes the summer season a little more exciting for you, but any kind of expectation of yourself heading into the summer split? But I have a guy that I want to beat. BDD is someone I want to face in the summer split when that time comes. Last time around it didn't work so well when I faced around him, but I want to get a fair chance against him next time around.
Hats off to that one.
Would you like to say something to him right now while you have a chance? Wait for me, BDD. I'm coming right at you.
Should have asked for his phone number.
Hoping for a good summer split from Justice as well, but let's move on to the next player. A little bit for Teddy, you know, getting the pentakill, just a routine exercise for you, and everything about this split was definitely a success for you personally. How do you feel about the season overall now? I feel like I always could have played better, and the kind of the win-loss, kind of the ratio of our team is a little more saddening than anything. And there has been a lot of kind of a bloody, you know, back and forth fights, especially with Jin Air versus other teams. Do you remember a specific game throughout the split? I remember the kind of the third set was kind of important, you know, where we extended it over to the kind of the longest game ever. Something that comes to mind. And you did pick up your second pentakill of the season. Not many players will be able to do that.
잘 먹는 것 같아요. 약간 돼지같이.
I think I'm a little bit of piggy in that instance, picking up those pentakills. And of course, the teammates help me get it, so feeding me is a little bit of a fun fast for me. And it just seems like, you know, Teddy and Jin Air has been synonymized a little bit to kind of you being representing the team in the right way. But, you know, looking throughout the season, how was that overall?
다음은 잘 우직하게 잘 버티고.
You know, I'll try to be a better player always, and
가끔 주사위가 굴릴 때도 있지만.
but you know, people say I'm the leader, but we do have different leaders in our team.
없이 그냥 딜도 잘해주고 포지션 잘.
And just right now, you know, even though he doesn't pop the damage, you can just do all the utility roles. That makes our team look really good.
네, 안 되는 척하면서 약간 좀 하는. 네. 어쨌든 테디 선수가 오늘 또 3세트에서 어떻게 보면 상대가 노골적으로
With Teddy, and you know,
쪽으로 좀 힘을
you guys did put a lot of power into the ADC role in Game 3. Wasn't that a lot of pressure being held with so much responsibility?
잘해준다고 하겠다고 해가지고.
You know, giving away karma, we said that, you know, we would just get me in and just say everybody's gonna act like my shield, and
딱히 부담감 없어요.
it wasn't really much of a pressure when there's a kind of fun incitement like that.
저희가 조합이 더 좋아가지고.
And I felt like our composition was a little bit better in the team composition against team fights, so didn't feel any pressure on that one.
엄티 선수가 좀 기대를 하고 있는데 엄티 선수와 또
I'm sure you're awaiting this interview very much. Round of applause for him as well.
네, 한 시즌 좀 돌아보면서
Looking through the season now, how do you feel?
엄티 선수.
사실 제가 좀 이틀 전만 해도 상태가 많이 피폐해져 있어서
I think even 2 days ago, I was feeling really down, and
코치님으로 얘기 많이 하고
I was talking to my coaching staff regarding that mental status, and
감독님 덕분에 이긴 것 같습니다.
but I think the coaches really helped me out with my mentality and just allow me to win the game today.
스카너를 가져간 쪽들이 조금 좀 아쉬운
And you know, kind of the recent trend has been Skarner pickups have been really ending in losses.
잘하는 선수가 잡으면 언제나 빛날 수 있는 픽이고.
I mean, Skarner's all about the kind of the usage and the pilot a little bit more, because the one who controls it well will get the wins. But if you don't make mistakes with that Skarner pick, you can still do very, very well with it. We did talk about the coaching staff just a little bit, but I'm sure you had a lot of interesting talks with him. But anything you like to add on with today?
굳이 아까 전에 말했던 그 조건에 대해서 말을 해드리자면,
You know, just discussing a little bit.
졌어요. 졌으면 이제 너희는 휴가 없고.
But you know, if he said, you know, if we lost today's game, that we will get no breaks and anything about amenities and every kind of the benefits that we could get as a players and teams, it would just be out the door. So, but at the same time, if we got the win today, which we did, he was gonna promise a lot of good benefits for us. And MT, you're very popular for kind of experimenting with very much different picks, but you do have the kind of the postseason is kind of ready for you. And just, do you have a team that would make it to the finals eventually? It's kind of broad talking.
사실 이번 메타가 어느 하나가 삐끗하면 정말 가는 메타거든요.
And this meta is really risky in the fact that just one big mistake, and you can ruin a team overall. So KT and Kingzone, they're not in the safe zone quite yet.
칸형 불안하던데.
네, 엄지 선수도 지금 좀 불안해 보여요.
네, 갈것 같아요. 저도 갈 것 같아요.
But I think you know, I could make a falter as well. So if I make the wrong prediction,
아티팬 아닙니다. 죄송합니다.
just not
킹좀 팬이에요.
make sure that you know I'm not a hater of anybody, but
정말 공격적인 메타다.
but just kind of emphasizing the aggressiveness of this meta here. But we do see Jin Air still pulling out a very good win. Would you like to say anything to the fans, especially a fan? Just a comment of gratitude and a little appreciation here and there.
스프링 시즌 동안 뭐 아쉬운 모습도
Spring split has been a mix of disappointments, and we have shown good points as well. But we always thank the fans for supporting us. We're gonna return in summer to make sure to show you better plays and better players as a team overall. That has been Jin Air GreenWings picking up the last win of the last game of the split. That will be the end of the interview. I'm going to toss it back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Joel, for the translation, as always. And all split long. Wonderful to hear from the Jin Air GreenWings in high spirits after that victory. Their opponents, not so much. KSV watching from home, relief and joy combined.
Certainly came crashing back down to earth, did the ROX Tigers, after a wonderful season and a great Game 1. Game 2, that one was half-baked. In Game 3, they tried a comp, but it felt like Jin Air had the answer, and they had the better hyper carry. Teddy is the fountain laser for a reason. That means that KSV is guaranteed top 5. They will fall to 5th if SKT is able to win, though, as if SKT pick up the victory, they already have the head-to-head over KSV, so 2-1 or 2-0 SK Telecom T1 after a season they would want to forget. And 9-9, but they'll be good enough for 4th spot.
Never bet against SKT, as the adage goes. SKT looking to climb their way back in, unless Kongdu Monster can pull a miracle out of somewhere, because that's not looking too likely there. But then we end with a very nice match, even though it doesn't really change much. It could be a precursor to our playoffs with KT going up against the Afrika Freaks.
It's also the sort of game where strange things can happen. You can pull out picks that you don't expect. You go for the mind games also.
Mind things for playoffs.
It's the sort of thing where I remember in previous season we had a lot of mind games where teams that didn't play champions would play them just to show, hey, we also play Zillion mid and other things. And just to confirm how our playoffs work, guys, Saturday,
a week from
next
today,
Saturday will be KSV versus likely SK Telecom, potentially ROX Tigers, and from there, winner on Wednesday plays KT, the winner the following Sunday plays Afrika, then over in Busan at the Sajik Gymnasium, be a best of 5 for that spot at MSI and the LCK Spring 2018 crown. We know Kingzone will be there, but will it be SKT, KSV, KT rolls to Afrika, or ROX Tigers facing them? That's the glory of the gauntlet. In 4 matches, we'll find out.
Yeah, so a week for these teams to go ahead, brood over, go back, review, figure out what the next picks are going to be, figure out what to go for instead of the Skarner, because it's apparently bad. There's plenty of time to think about it. But one thing that I think needs no thinking about it is that the KSV players from now on, if they're going to travel to somewhere, if they're going to go to JG, if they're going to go to Busan, if they want to jump over to Japan, they're going to be flying Jin Air. Eternal gratitude to that team. I think that they will be giving them their business from this day moving forward.
And we should extend our gratitude, guys. Today is the last day of the OGN regular season, so thank you for joining us for the 27th match day we've had here at OGN. It will be the best of 3 wild card and the first best of 5 brought to you by OGN.
Yep.
In 1 week from today, that will all start. Tomorrow, Spo TV, the last day of the regular season. Will SKT finally come in heavy favorites and take down Kongdu? Isn't it amazing that a week from today, we're expecting SKT versus KSV. After all this drama, it will be a World Finals rematch, most likely for just the first stage. And then one of those teams goes home, and that's the end of their season, and there's still amazing matchups after.
Yeah, and then it's another gauntlet run potentially for SK Telecom. They're the first team to start at the bottom,
Back
go
to
all
back
the way
to the final.
into that grand final. Can they do it again? Well, we're going to find out if they can make it into that wild card match tomorrow. We'll be back here with more OGN LCK a week from today. So guys, enjoy your break. Watch the games tomorrow with Papa and Valdez. We'll see you right back here on Saturday.